Hello viewer, welcome back. Today's little project, I'm going to have a go at a little bowl, natural edge hopefully. Got a lump of ash here, been standing on my rack for quite a while now, and I've just drilled a little hole for the wood worm screw or worm screw, whatever you call them. So I'm going to set it up on the lathe now, remount the camera or reset the camera, and I'll get back to you in a minute. There we go, all set up. It's not too far off the centre, it was just a guess. So I'll round it off, then I'm going to face this off. This will be the base, and put a mortise in there so I can reverse it round and get it in the jaws of my chuck. Okay, I got it all set up in the chuck. I bought the tailstock up for a bit of extra security, which is never a bad thing. I've just started taking a little bit off, but mainly the wax that's on here. When you're using any tools, don't try rushing it and digging in. You'll only get a catch. It's like when you're using a handsaw, you're always told, let the saw do the work, you just guide it along. You try rushing it, the saw blade's going to bend. Similar thing with the lathe tools, just guide it along, nice and gently. It'll take the wood off eventually. Start digging in, you're going to get a catch. So I'll carry on rounding it off, and see you in a bit. Right, I've just started cutting the mortise into this now, and of course now I've had to remove the tailstock, so it's unsupported. So I go very, very gently. I'm using my square carbide cutter for this, making a lot of very fine passes. I don't want to upset the balance at all or have it spinning out. And when you've got that done, put the shoulders on so they'll fit in your chuck nicely with the skew chisel, get the angle. So I'm going to carry on doing that now. Just got to lower the tool rest very slightly. This little hole in the middle, I want that to disappear. That's just where I had the pin when I was turning it round on the bandsaw. It shouldn't be too deep. A little bit more to go. Now, I know I'm not the fastest turner in the world, which is why I tend to speed my videos up on continuous things like that. You'd only be bored out your brains. I never profess to be a professional, and so I take my time. It takes a bit longer, but usually get there in the end. I've got no rush. I don't profess to be a professional wood turning teacher by any means. I've got a long way to go before I'm really any good, but it's just what I'm learning, and I'm hopefully passing it on to you guys. Still a little way to go, but I'm just going to put the shoulder on it now to show you what happens. You go in at an angle, keep the blade level with the work. That'll give you a nice angle on the shoulder here to fit into your dovetail jaws. So I'm just going to finish this off now. This is going to be visible if somebody flips the bowl over and has a look. So just take as much care on the underside as you do on the rest of your bowl or whatever you're making. There, I've put a few little rings on there with the point of my skew chisel. I'm just going to start shaping this now before I turn it round and actually polish the bottom. So once it's turned round, that's it, that's the base finished. Right, so I've got a bit of shape on the bottom now. I'm not going to go too far up, I can do that when I turn it round. I'm just going to go through the sanding procedure of getting the base done and in there now, and then a bit of sanding sealant and polish. Again, can't stress enough, don't miss a grit. Be patient with it. You should get a decent finish. Anyway, I won't bore you with all the sanding procedure because it does take quite a while. So I'll see you later on when I've got it changed over, swap round in the jig, in the chuck. There we go, viewer. Got a lovely smooth finish on that now. Going to go with the usual 2 coats of sanding sealant, rubbing it down with the Scotch pad after each coat, and then I'll apply some wood wax 22 onto this. Then I'll get it turned round in the chuck and start the other side. Okay, all turned round, just going to start hollowing out a bit, and then I'll come and start work from the outer edge side of the bowl inwards, try and get a nice neat cut on that bark. Just using my parting tool to give me a bit of a line to work from. That should give me something to go at. The bark looks pretty tight on here, so with a bit of luck I won't have to use any CA glue. Having said that, that's gonna, a little bit there that might come off. So I think to be on the safe side, I'm just going to run a bit of CA right around the edge of the bark, and that'll hopefully help to keep it on. that should do it. If it doesn't work, I'll have a nice wavy edge bowl instead of a natural edge bowl with the bark on, which still be okay. Just let that dry off for a little bit and get a bit of shape now on this outside. Right, on with the hollowing. Make sure you got your tool rest as close as possible. Give the lathe a couple of spins before you actually switch it on, as it can come as a great shock. I've found that out in the past. So just spin it round, make sure nothing's catching, and on you go. So I've got to the edge now where I want to be. I might take it a bit thinner, but that's not too bad. Might leave it at that. And just take your time, just keep on hollowing, just a little bit at a time. There's no hurry. Again, with this tool, with the Ellsworth grind on it, there's no real wrong way to do it. Because at that time I was pulling it through. The tool's nearly on its side, but when I started I was pushing it through with the tool on the opposite side. I tend to do a combination of both when I'm hollowing something out. It works both ways, so that's fine. Okay, I'm just going to carry on doing what I've shown you until I've got it how I want it. It looks some lovely grain on this wood. I hope it's like that when it's finished. Oh well, we'll soon find out. See you later. Well, I'm getting into it now. All the bark's still on at the moment. I've swapped over to a carbide cutter now, the round one. No particular reason at all, except for I do like just changing things around rather than use the same tool all the time. It's just a shame that bowl savers aren't a bit cheaper, because I really hate this. The amount of wood is just wasted. There's piles of it. So if I could afford a bowl saver, would be smashing, but that's a little bit of a luxury at the moment. So we'll just have to put up with all this waste. It'll come in handy for something, even if it's just drying all the bowls out. Right, I'm going to carry on with the scraper for a bit. That's coming along quite nicely. Right, I'll switch the camera off now and carry on digging, and hopefully get back to you when I've got as deep as I want to go. You do get a really nice cut with these carbide scrapers. Very smooth, as long as you take your time with them, so don't try digging in. All I'm doing is more or less guiding it across. Basically all I'm doing is like just stroking the wood, hardly any pressure at all, and you can see the amount of wood that's coming out. Yeah, I like these tools. I like all my tools, but these, just something about them. I think it's because you don't have to sharpen them very often. So nearly there, about another 1/4 of an inch to go, and that'll do, I think. Well, I've got to the depth that I'm happy with now, and if you know me by now, I like to leave my bowls a little bit chunky. I don't like to go too thin, but that's plenty for me. I've just started the sanding process. The only thing that frightens you on these is this edge. When you're sanding, you've got to keep your fingers well out the way, or get yourself something like this. And unfortunately, I haven't got enough pads at the moment to use this. This is just about a 400 grit for the final sanding. So I shall persevere. It's not on too fast. A little tip for if you're sanding something like this. I've got 4 different grades of the Abranet. You can, you know, your sandpaper Abranet. This is the 240 and 320, 400 and 600. Now I've got one on top of the other to make a pad. A lot less chance of your fingers catching anything. When you've finished with the top one, don't put it to one side, put it on the bottom. Then you've always got the thickness of the 4 pieces and doubled over thickness of 8 pieces. Lot less chance of getting your fingers caught then, and at least your fingers have got some protection when you get near the edge. Well, there it is. What a lovely little bowl that's turned out to be, and the bark stayed on. Look at the colours and the pattern on that. It's a beautiful shine on it. It's only had 1 coat of wood wax 22. And that's plenty for this, I think. You know, when I first saw this little bit of ash sitting on my shelf, I thought blowtorch or liming wax, maybe some colouring. But you know something, I like it just the way it is. It's lovely. Anyway, this, believe it or not, is my 40th video. Yep, 40 loads of rubbish. Now shall I carry on and do some more? I don't know. I think I will. I enjoy doing it. I know some of you get a bit of a laugh out of it. So until the next time, see you soon. Thanks very much to all you subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It's ever so easy. So bye for now.